If anyone was to ask me about bending on the guitar, I would have the following things to say. Bending is one of the hardest things to do well. And I'm going to try and explain why, and I'm going to try and give you a few tips. Now, so first of all, what do we do when we bend a guitar string? Well, we can bend up, and we can also, theoretically, bend down. Here's bending up. All you're trying to do is you're trying to take one note, and you're trying to get it to the pitch of another note. So if we could bend from this note, this D to the E, we're trying to go to make that transition, that leap, by bending the string upwards. So if I'm lucky, that note there should sound the same as that one, which it did. You'll notice, as I was doing it, I did a little bit of a trick where I added a little bit of source to the note by shaking it, or vibrato. Now, vibrato sounds amazing when done well, and it also allows you to disguise a little bit if you're not quite at the note that you want to be. So in a nutshell, that's what you do when you bend. Now, I would say the majority of the time, and I guess you, would be bending up to a note, like I just demonstrated. And when I say bending down, what I don't mean is bending, literally pushing the string down towards the floor, which you can do if you want to. Bending down would be in the case of doing a pre-bend, hopefully at the pitch, which it was, and releasing it and bending it down. So there's the two sort of bends that you can do. If you wanted to get really technical about it, you could say, well, I can do vibrato bar bends. I'm not really interested in that right now. I'm just talking about using the guitar as it is, fixed bridge, no tricks, nothing else. Now, the really difficult part about this is that you have to be controlled. And in order to be in control of the guitar, I think you have to be in control of yourself, right? So if I'm really crazy and over the top about it, that sounds awful to me because I'm too high. I was somewhere between there. Sounded horrible. If you're relaxed, and I'll try it on another note, A to B. Okay, that to my ear is actually not too bad, but there are some tricks and tips here that we can use to make this easier, and I've already given you one of them, right? And that will be adding the vibrato. Now, vibrato I'll cover in another video possibly, but it's just shaking the note. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could do it with the whammy bar, or you could do it with your fingers. So there's tip one. Bending and vibrato go very well together. Here's two more tips. You'll notice that I've got my thumb over the top of the neck, for this note anyway. That gives me an anchor to really pivot off, so I can use all the force of tip 3, those 3 fingers behind it. Oops, I hit a high E string there, I shouldn't have done that. So I've got those 3 fingers holding the note and my thumb anchoring. Now when I play the string again, it should be bang on for the B. Close enough, all right? And then what you can do, if you want to, you can experiment doing this with other steps. What I mean is pitches on the guitar. So to me, the bend from A to B, that's a full step, 2 frets. We can try going 1 fret. So if I go from this note to G, was out. Bad. So you don't get it right. Well, I don't get it right all the time. All right, and I've heard many others that also have the same thing. Now, you can go higher if you want to. Like you can bend from the... So if we imagine that we were in E minor pentatonic. Oh, I could bend from the 12th to the 15th. So I'm going for that note. That's a 3-step bend. 3 semitone step bend, sorry. That was a little rough. But you'll notice that I'm still doing the tricks that I spoke about earlier. The vibrato, the thumb behind the neck, and using 3 fingers. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to just use that trick or those tricks together. Let's have a think about it, okay? If you're playing, you can still do vibrato and, by extension, bending with 1 finger. So when I just use my index finger, I have nothing behind it, no other power to add other than just using my index finger. So bending becomes a lot harder. So that's the pitch I'm going to go for. That doesn't feel natural to me at all. I can't, it's very difficult for me to bend up using just 1 finger. That's awful to me. I would never normally routinely do that. 2 fingers. No, that even looks wrong to me as I can see it on the camera, but I'm going to try and demonstrate it anyway. If I go from this note, the G, to the A, using my middle finger, A, I can do it, but that doesn't feel natural either. It's really all about my ring finger. Depending on where you are, you can use other fingers, but that's my little summary of some of the technical aspects of bending a string. Now, when I think that bending a string gets really fun is when you combine it with holding other notes. So this is more like a country style technique, right? So when you're eliciting that kind of sound. Okay, there's a few clangers in there, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to demonstrate that one real quick, and then I think I'm going to just finish this up and let you guys go ahead and see what you can do. All right? So for the purposes of this little demonstration, if we pretend we are in G major. All you want to do, okay, first of all, get this under your fingers, sliding from 10 to 12, then hitting on the beat, then finally picking 10 on the high E. So it's going to sound like this. That was 2 flat. That's the kind of move you want to get. of vibe that you want to go for, and when you play clean and you've got other notes to compare it to, you can really tell whether your bending is spot on or not. Mine was okay for the purposes of this demonstration, but as with everything, I'm sure it could be made better with practice. Some people, I've seen videos where they talk about that you would play a whole scale. And then you'd bend up each part of the scale. That was bad. That was even worse. So what I've learned from making this video and hearing it for myself is I find it harder to bend on the low strings. Because I don't really do it very often. It's still something I need to practice. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's a never-ending journey. There you go. That is my little video that I've made for all of you on bending on the electric guitar. The same principles would apply if you were using if you were using a acoustic guitar, or, although the technique would be different, any other instrument. You're trying to aim as much as you can, a stringed instrument probably. You don't really bend on an acoustic grand piano. There you go. See you soon. Bye, boy!